some spots and down like in Key West, those temps into the low 90s. And we know the tropical systems and hurricanes feed off of those temperatures. And so with the uptick, the increase, the projected amount of hurricanes just a week or so ago by the National Hurricane Center, now we become a little concerned about if one of those develops and hits these waters. They're going to have plenty of energy, if there's no shear to the north and the Saharan dust takes a break.
This could be a place to watch as we go through the rest of hurricane season. We are going to be on standby. Fox Weather, cruising across America with Robert Ray. Thanks for the report, Robert.
Okay, I just finished my last live report here on Jacksonville Beach. You guys could see this. This is my camera set up right behind me. This is the live view that's been transmitting the camera. And I just was on Weather Command with Amy Freeze. And now I'm going to tuck this underneath here. This is the dance. Turn it all off. And make my way to the Fox Weather Beast right now as I am about to go to Mexico Beach, Florida for the next stop. I hope to get there by 4 or 5 in the afternoon. It's about a 4.5 hour drive. That's the town that was hit by a Cat 5 Hurricane Michael. They are recovering well, but we're going to see exactly how that is going. And then after that, it's a surprise, and it's a long drive. Okay, I'm off of Jacksonville Beach. I'm dripping. I've carried all the gear, and it is all ready to go into the back of the Fox Weather Beast. Let's get this party going, get things charging, and get this sucker on the road. I've just arrived here in Mexico Beach, Florida, and I'm gonna step out. Went through some rain showers actually on the way, and you know what's interesting is that on the drive in, by the way, actually, let me show you the beach first. You see, this is Mexico Beach here. This is where Hurricane Michael came in 2018. By the way, the strongest hurricane to ever hit the panhandle of Florida. And it came in October. It was a late one. But I want to share something with you that's fascinating to me. As I'm driving in on one of the highways off of Interstate 10, you have to head south. And what you see on both sides of the roads is these loblolly pine trees. And they're bent still from the force of the Category 5 winds of Hurricane Michael 5 years ago. And so, here we are about to give a live report on Fox Weather at 4:45 p.m. When I'm done with that live report, I am then moving on to New Orleans, a big drive, almost 400 miles, where I'll be reporting all day on Friday, and you'll have another update when I get there. Thankfully, a beautiful sunset over Mobile, Alabama, crossing multiple states, Florida, into Bama, into Mississippi, and then, of course, into Louisiana and the dark French Quarter, arriving at roughly 10-something Central Time at night. Okay, just over 6 hours later, I've arrived in New Orleans, Louisiana. You can see the Fox Weather Beast here. This is a very difficult truck to park in urban environments, and you want to keep it safe. And one of the only hotels that can do that is here at the Four Point Sheraton in the French Quarter. Okay, in my room here in the French Quarter, bags moving in. Still have to do editing and get things in for these live shots tomorrow. But look at this. This is the French Quarter Thursday night on Bourbon Street. Very loud, as you can see, downtown New Orleans, and the revelers out here on Bourbon.
Fox Weather's Robert Ray is cruising across America. Today, he chose New Orleans, the famous French Quarter.
I have to tell you about this journey real quickly yesterday. Started in Jacksonville Beach, Florida on your show. Left yesterday late morning, went to Mexico Beach, Florida on the Panhandle, where that Cat 5 came in 5 years ago, and looked at their recovery process. Got into New Orleans last night. at roughly 10:30 Central Time. You know, when I mapped this out, I'm not sure what I was thinking. I didn't realize I was going to drive almost 800 miles, 800 miles in the Fox Weather Beast yesterday with live reports. But it's good to be here. And, you know, I'm not going to tell you where we're headed or where I'm headed later today, where I'll be live tomorrow, at least yet. I'll reveal that a little bit later. But what a journey. Cruising across America. We'll end up in Santa Monica, California next Thursday with all these reports in between. In the caverns of Cafe du Monde, you see all the beignets and the coffee. I got to get out of this place. I think I've eaten so many they're going to call me Mr. Blimpy Beignet. I got to leave. The old saying, when in Rome. Well, I think I've had too much Rome or New Orleans in this instance. But look at all the tourists out here today. It is so muggy and so hot. Heat indexes going to be potentially above 110 as a lot of the musicians are out here late this morning. And I've done multiple live reports on Fox News and Fox Weather. And now I'm walking over to the Weather Beast to get back on the road here. Headed to Galveston Island, about 5.5 hours. That will be stop number 4. I'll be reporting on Saturday from there, and then I'll let you know where I'm going after that. All righty, I love the Big Easy, but it's time to go. It's been nearly 6 hours in the car, 2 stops for fuel, a couple stops for food, a very bad log jam and a truck accident on I-10 heading eastbound. Thank God that wasn't on westbound. And I am approaching Galveston Island. It is 7:05 Eastern, 6:05 Central. I'm going to go on that island. I have an interview with a severe weather and storm expert who lives in Galveston. I'm going to survey the land, shoot some video, and put some elements together for my live shots tomorrow with Neil Cavuto on Fox News and also Fox Weather, as well as give you guys the behind-the-scenes look. Woo! The end, or almost the end, of day 2 of this road trip. A tremendous amount of ground we've covered on Cruising Across America. Just arrived on Galveston Beach, and I'm about to meet Dr. Hal Needham. Actually, they call him Hurricane Hal. Let's go say hello to him. He's an expert here on Galveston Island, all things tropical storms and hurricanes. Doctor, good to see you.
Really good to see you. Thanks for coming to the island.
Thank you for doing this. I appreciate it. Let's take a walk. I want to find out a little bit more about Galveston, downtown Galveston, and where we're at. Hurricane Ike in 2008, a Category 2, put this downtown area underwater from storms.
Oh yeah, completely. You know, keep in mind, Ike was geographically huge. It had a pretty low pressure, and it was an upper level Cat 2. But a lot of people said, we're not going to evacuate for that. You know, we only evacuate for Cat 3 or above. And here's how much water it put into Galveston. In the nearby Bolivar Peninsula, a lot more water than this. And this is fast-moving seawater that's really hard to survive if you get caught in.
So here's the thing, guys. I have just gotten here. It's past 7 p.m. Central. We're going to head down to the water, get some shots of that. It is just beautiful here on the Gulf of Mexico. And look at this, guys. Take a look. You see the sand and the waters out there, very warm waters. And there is the seawall that was built after 1900 and that incredible hurricane that came in, killing the thousands of people. That is what, during Hurricane Ike, actually, the waves would go boom, up above, crash down. I remember covering that and being hunkered down in a parking garage with Fox business correspondent Jeff Flock. At the time, I was paired up with Jeff, a great weather hurricane hunter himself. And boy, what a night as the eye came right over Galveston. Just amazing. I'll have more of these stories as we cruise across America. Day number 3, stop number 4, Galveston Island. Robert Ray, Fox Weather.
Fox Weather's Robert Ray is live in Galveston, Texas. Robert, how's the community preparing for this hurricane season? Beautiful along the shores this morning.
Yeah, good morning, Jane. It is. It's gorgeous here in Galveston Island, Texas, on the Gulf of Mexico. But I will say, it is so muggy, even though there's a nice little breeze here going. But you stand here and you just start dripping. Anything you touch, your hand sticks to it because of how just moist everything is this morning here in Galveston. These temps just outrageous. Anyway, Jane, cruising across America continues. I'll be live here all morning into the early afternoon. And then I will tell you guys later where I'm headed next on my trip across the country, Jane. Hard to beat the Gulf of Mexico here in Galveston. It is beautiful, but oh my, so warm. I mean, just oppressive heat. I'm gonna make my way from the beach down there up these rocks and the seawall behind me that they put out there in 1900 after that huge hurricane that killed thousands. The deadliest natural disaster in American history still. Trying to make my way up here to the Fox Weather Beast to get out of this heat, get in some air, and on my way to one of the most visited cities in America, the Riverwalk, the Alamo, an incredible place with great food, culture, and people, San Antonio. Let's go, let's get it rolling. Weather Beast, take me there. So I have to admit, I have a food weakness, and that is the Waffle House. I have to stop. If you're on a road trip, you gotta hit it. Here's my recommendation, and it's not on the menu. A Fiesta omelet with hash browns, scattered, chunked, smothered, the whole deal. A side of sausage patties, toast, dry, no butter, coffee, Diet Coke. Let's go get it. So now I feel terrible, but it was so good. I love you, Waffle House. Just outside of San Antonio, Texas, and I'm pulling into a Buc-ee's, and what do I see? A group of young men pushing a vehicle because they ran out of gas. I feel bad for them. It is literally 105 degrees, and that's without the heat index. If I thought Galveston was hot, well, welcome to the outskirts of San Antonio, Texas, at the Buc-ee's Cathedral of Rest Stops, Emporium of Craziness, beef jerky, beef sandwiches, you name it. Oh my God, wait till you see this place. And by the way, it's so hot that I had to pull out my Indiana Jones hat to protect me, because when I was eating at Waffle House, the guy on the griddle asked me if I had been out in the sun. Yeah, I've been out in the sun. Texas roundup brisket, turkey, sausage, pulled pork, hot dogs, chicken tenders, sandwiches, fruit. They literally have everything here. Look at this. They are cutting the brisket behind here. You can grab sandwiches all over here. It is mayhem in here. People trying to get outside, or inside rather, away from this ridiculous heat. And oh wow. How about some cast iron, or perhaps a silver bull's head? Something on the lines of that. Yeah, this place is wild. And wow, welcome to Texas, right outside of San Antonio, almost to San Antonio, where I'll see the Alamo and the Riverwalk. Back to the beast. Finally arrived in San Antonio, Texas. I love this town. Look at how unique it is with the streets here. It's just very unlike any other city in America, and it's one of the most visited cities. And look at this, the Alamo. 1835 is when that standoff happened between the Texians that were occupying this old mission, and the Mexican army then surrendered. And it was in December that happened. I have to imagine it was a little cooler than it is right now. Baking, about 106 degrees here right now. And the 14-day forecast on the Fox Weather app, only 1 day below 100, and it's 99 degrees. They already had an incredibly warm summer. Last year I visited here covering the drought up and down Texas and into Oklahoma, and they certainly hope that they get some reprieve here, because it doesn't look like there's any rain at all in the forecast. We may be looking at farmers going through a lot of what they went through last year again. But anyway, guys, I'm gonna hit the Riverwalk. It is awesome down there. Man-made, gorgeous, dotted by hotels and restaurants. I think I'm gonna go check out some of the food options here for sure, and try to brave this oppressive heat, as so many people, over 90 million across the country right now, going through it. And I'll see you on the next stop. I'm Robert Ray in San Antonio, Fox Weather.
Fox Weather correspondent Robert Ray in San Antonio, who can tell us firsthand the intensity of this heat wave. What's it feel like out there this morning? We've been looking at the numbers, thankfully not experiencing it, but my heart goes out to you.
Yeah, I will say, guys, good morning to you. Happy Sunday. It is beautiful here on the San Antonio Riverwalk, and we take a look at some of the video of this great city of San Antonio. I got here yesterday evening, and this morning, you know, it's in the high 70s, and it actually feels okay. There's a little bit of a breeze, but soon that's all going to change. It's going to be well over 100 degrees today, and unfortunately, the forecast for San Antonio and Austin and some of these other Texas towns is over 100 degrees for the next 14 days, and that's very similar to what this area went through last year and the incredible drought. Certainly the folks here, if you're in agriculture, you don't want a repeat of 2011, which cost billions of dollars in the state of Texas and so many other areas because of the lack of rain and the high temps. This is just the beginning of the heat for me as I begin to head west later today. I'll give you guys a clue perhaps next hour on where I'm going on cruising across America.
I'm excited to see where you go next. Of course, we'll check in with you again next hour on this relentless heat.
Yes. Okay, I'm leaving my hotel room. It is about noon Central Time here in San Antonio. I'm going to head down to the Riverwalk for my final live shot on Fox News Channel, and then it's off again to another spot. So this is the Riverwalk right below my hotel, a great location. Got my suitcase and everything, so right after this live report on Fox News, I'm gonna get in the Fox Weather Beast and head to the northwest into the high desert. Watch this. Okay. Live shot done with Fox News. I got the sandbag that weighs down my little tripod on my shoulder. You see everything here. We're gonna head up these stairs to the Weather Beast and boogie. Let's go. About 70 miles outside of Balmorhea State Park. That's where I'm headed here in West Texas, the Fox Weather Beast. Since I've left San Antonio, driven about 400 miles, the landscape has totally changed into a high desert. And this picnic area, I thought, would have latrines, or you know what I'm saying. And it's all desert, it does not. So, yeah. Hi there. Hi, tree. 5 hours later, and I am here at Balmorhea State Park in the high deserts of West Texas. I'm a little bit under 200 miles from El Paso, which is my ultimate destination here. It is about 6 o'clock in Central Time still. I've driven about 2,000 miles thus far on this trip, leaving from Jacksonville, Florida last Thursday. So I'm getting close. I'm getting close to Santa Monica Pier, several stops still, but let's find out what's so special about this oasis in the high desert.
So the water flows up from the San Solomon Springs system. It's currently 17 million gallons of water a day that comes out of the spring. Being the only water in a couple hundred miles is a great place to cool off in the summertime. So it's 1.2 acres, the pool itself. The deepest part would be 25 feet. That's underneath our high dive. And then it goes to about 3 to 5 foot on the shallow.
A Texas-style swimming pool, the biggest in the state. Does this surprise you that it's in Texas? Not me. On to El Paso. I just saw this historic chapel leaving the state park on this dusty road. I don't know if it's open, but let's take a look and see. Oh, it's not. It is open. Whoa. Okay. This is interesting. Look at this place. How unique, a taste of the West. Look at these benches and the door, and people have lit candles here for prayers, obviously for family members or friends. And then you come outside and the desert, the high desert of West Texas. Incredible. Look at this tiny little church, a mission, and the Fox Weather Beast. Okay, now we're really going to El Paso. I finally made it to El Paso. It is 8:30 Mountain Time. Started the day in San Antonio. Well over 600 miles was the drive. And here's the thing about El Paso. Over 29 days, approaching 30 days of temperatures above 100 degrees. It's an all-time record. These folks have been enduring incredible, scorching, oppressive heat for a month, and there's no end in sight. I am going to explore this city and take a look at everything, and then moving on to the west and starting the week off, day 5 of cruising across America. A few days left of this incredible journey across the country.
Fox Weather's Robert Ray is cruising across America. He's made it to one of the hottest spots in Texas. He joins us right now from El Paso. El Paso is one of the spots we've been talking about since this started in early July, Robert. Even early in the morning, you got to get into the shade like you are.
You need to. Right here, the border town, Mexico, just a couple blocks away from where I'm standing on El Paso Street. That is Juarez over there. And yes, the high desert, a beautiful area of El Paso, Texas, it has been in the look at this, Amy. I couldn't believe this, actually, when I was driving in yesterday. Triple digits for over 30 days straight. Unbelievable. All records broke here, not even close. And if you look at the forecast for this entire week leading up into the weekend, they are likely going to be in the triple digits again for this entire week. So yes, people are literally baking in this part of the country. And you know, Amy, I spent the weekend in the state of Texas as I've been cruising across America. I started on the Gulf Coast, and we take a look at some of that video on the Gulf Coast, and then we go to San Antonio, which is where I reported from yesterday, and then now here in the high desert on the Mexican border. And I just don't anticipate it's going to get any better weather as I start my trek west again later today. With where I'm going, maybe I'll let you know next hour or the hour after that. But Cruising Across America continues in this mass heat wave across the Southwest and really so many parts of the country. Almost 100 million people under these heat advisories. Amy? Okay, it's been great. El Paso, just finished live shots on Fox Weather and have now got to head west. I have live shots for Fox News Channel about the heat. I'm going to try to make it to the Arizona border here in the Fox Weather Beast, which has not failed me yet on this road trip. Over 2,000 miles headed to the Pacific Ocean. Let's rack up some more miles, baby. Let's go. Fox Weather Beast. Boom.
Storm clouds rage above me. Sky turns black as night.
Was just driving on Highway 9 here in New Mexico in the Weather Beast and realized there was a side road that I could take, a desert road, to get close up to the border fence here that is going for miles and miles in the desert. And you know, look at this. What I realize when I get up this close to the border wall is how tall it is. It's got to be 40, 50 feet, made of steel. You can see through it on the other side, so you can see into Mexico. You could even stick your hand through here. Look at that. My hand is in Mexico. Pure steel, as you can see here, goes on and on and on. And the Weather Beast sitting at the edge here. There's actually some agriculture going on, believe it or not. But yeah, so here's the thing. I'm in New Mexico right now, headed to Arizona, Tombstone, where the OK Corral shootout happened back in the 1800s. There's a movie made of that, Wyatt Earp. I'm gonna go talk to a saloon owner there. So let's get it going.
Y'all ready?
This is Tombstone, Arizona, and I'm sure you've heard the name Tombstone. It's just infamous for so many things: gunfights, westerns, bad guys, good guys, you name it. And the Old West. We're just outside of Tucson, just a slice of the Old West, totally preserved here. And look at this, bars, bistros, very cool. Let's go talk to one woman who owns a saloon and knows a lot about this town.
Tombstone is an international destination. It is famous for the 30-second shootout of the OK Corral. People want to come here, young and old, so the Old West too. They see the dirt streets and the trolleys and the stagecoaches and live music.
What kind of drink should I order here? I'm kind of a whiskey guy. Is that going
Oh
on?
my goodness, we have so many kinds of whiskeys and tequilas if you like that. We have the bourbon that supposedly Doc Holliday drank.
So a special treat heading down the spiral staircase here at the bar. This used to be where the saloon was many years ago in this old mining town. And look at this, now it is a gift shop. How cool. But this used to be where the renegades and the cowboys all used to hang out down here. I have to think there was a lot of gunk and a lot of boom going on. Just leaving Big Nose Kate's saloon. Incredible. Thank you, Susan, for hosting me. And you know what? It's drizzling. It is monsoon season here in Arizona, and any kind of rain that they get, especially on these dirt streets, the sand, the desert streets of Tombstone, is a good thing. Next stop is Saguaro National Park. I've heard it's incredible, and I love national parks. The Fox Weather Beast, my true buddy here, starting to feel a real kinship with the Weather Beast over this trip. Well over 2,000 miles driven, and now headed to Saguaro. Well, I made it to Saguaro National Park, and this is one of the trails. It's very rugged here. I didn't realize it was going to be so rough and tumble. I thought it would be more of a traditional national park where, you know, there's an entrance and Smokey the Bear and all that stuff. But no, this is really quite beautiful and rustic. Unfortunately, I'm kind of running out of daylight here. It is Pacific time now here in AZ. Sun's about to set at 7:30. It's about 7, but we also have this cloud cover. And so I'm off the beaten trail here as I tilt the camera. The saguaros, the cacti, there they are. They can live up to 200 years old. And according to scientists, they do not start growing those arms until they're about 75 years old. Let's see how close we can actually get. And this beautiful, it looks like trail / riverbed, amazing. Look at that cactus, the saguaro, huge standing. That's got to be 20 feet, maybe even higher. Some of those over there, definitely 30 feet plus. Beautiful. Another day full of an exciting adventure, informative, entertaining, and the beast, oh my buddy, ready to take me to the next location. I've even got the front lights on. Those suckers come in big time handy during hurricanes. As the sun goes down here over the Tucson area, where will we go next? My friend and I, the Fox Weather Beast. I can tell you, we're going to California.
Fox Weather's Robert Ray is live in Saguaro National Park in Tucson, Arizona to show us this part of America. It's already 80 degrees as you're cruising across America. Robert?
Yeah, good morning, Amy, from Saguaro National Park, and I thought I'd take a little hike in the 6 a.m. hour Western time out here. Why not? It's beautiful. You see these huge cacti, the saguaros, that grow up to 40 feet high, at some points live to 200 years old. But you know what? As this journey cruising across America has gone, and oh, I've got a terrible bug flying around me right now here in the desert, I have made my way well over 2,400 miles so far from the Atlantic Ocean across this great country. And guys, I didn't know this until I got here actually last night before the sun went down, but Tucson is actually surrounded by Saguaro National Park. So it's essentially a city inside of a national park.
We will be looking forward to your reports today as you continue cruising across America. Fox Weather's Robert Ray.
Leaving Saguaro National Park amid these incredible cacti standing 20 to 40 feet tall, 200 years old. Amazing. Had a great time here in the Tucson area, traversing the desert. And now I'm going to cross even more desert in Arizona and the California line. Oh man, this trip, we're getting there. We're almost to the Pacific. The Fox Weather Beast and I, we're going to Joshua Tree National Park. Stopping outside of Palm Springs and Joshua Tree National Park to fuel up my buddy the Beast. And if you're wondering, yeah, oh my goodness, $129? Almost $6 a gallon here in California. That's the highest I've seen since I left Florida. I can't believe that. Mostly to fill up this entire tank, it is about, I don't know, 85, 90 bucks. It's unreal. And if you're wondering, you know, how many times I've filled up at this point, gosh, I'm gonna have to say this sucker is probably been filled up about 15 to 18 times. There's a tank museum right over here. I want to take a look at it. Let's go. right off I-10 here, the General Patton Historical Museum in the desert. And look at this, the Matzner Tank Pavilion right here in the arid desert. By the way, it's 113 degrees here at the edge of Joshua Tree National Park. At one point, when I was driving across the desert, somewhere between Arizona and California border, it was 118, just remarkable. And look at this, look at all these old tanks and the barbed wire fence. See if I can get through here. Look at that, that's pretty cool. I'm not sure what the reasoning is behind all this, but I'm sure there must be some reason. But let's talk about the intensity of this weather. Gosh, since I've left El Paso, record-setting 35 days straight in El Paso of triple digits. Isn't that just outrageous when you think about it? Phoenix today, as I'm driving through, sets an all-time record of 19 straight days above 100, and I think the high there today is like 112, all over the area, the Southwest, and including Texas. So this entire trip, most of it, has been in record-setting temperatures. And to think, you know, maybe I picked the right or the wrong time to get out here and cover this, but yeah, it is blazing right now. Dry heat, you hear that, dry heat. Yeah, okay, sure. That doesn't mean I'll not be baking in this desert at any minute. All right, let's go. Let's head out to Joshua Tree National Park. Looking forward to it. Joshua Tree National Park outside of Palm Springs, California. This high altitude desert in the Mojave, just some of the hottest temperatures on the planet very often. And today it's 117 degrees as it bakes the scorched earth and some of the vegetation here and the species. But the thing is that they may look dry, and they are. But if you put some of these in an area that gets a lot of rain, they wouldn't do well. I mean, look. Pure sand, and it just blows away with these winds at the high altitudes. And it's full of the mountains and the boulders in this area and the Joshua trees. What an amazing species. Let's find out a little bit more.
We're in the Mojave Desert. We are in, like I would say, the northwest corner of Joshua Tree National Park.
So what exactly is a Joshua tree?
A Joshua tree is a yucca. Its scientific name is Yucca brevifolia, and it's in the agave family.
So kind of like a margarita?
I wish, but no.
Okay. How long do these trees live, and how do these species survive in this incredibly tough climate?
On average, they live about 150 years. There's some evidence that in rare cases, they can live more than 300.
It is a very stark landscape, but so much beauty in the desolation as the wind blows through my ears here at this high altitude. I can't get over that. The breezes that come in, and when they do, they whip around and push the sand and some of the dried out vegetation. And yet, these trees stand here for so many centuries. This leg of the journey has been scorching hot. Record temps again in Phoenix as far as days over 100. This in the Mojave Desert and Joshua Tree National Park, just 115, 116 degrees. And now, on the last day of this incredible Cruising Across America trip, we are headed to the Pacific Ocean, Santa Monica Pier, Los Angeles, La La Land, and Hollywood. Goodbye, National Park. I will miss you. Hello again, friend. Let's move on to the water.
The Great American Summer Road Trip, going coast to coast. He started in Jacksonville, Florida. His final stop, Santa Monica, California. What a gorgeous view. The man, the myth, the legend. He's live in Santa Monica at the pier, exploring where the tip of California touches the Pacific Ocean. Hey, Robert.
Yeah, good morning, Amy, and everyone else from beautiful Santa Monica, California here, the beaches. The marine layer is probably taking away the fact that the Santa Monica Pier is behind me, but indeed the sun has just come up here in beautiful SoCal. And what a trip it's been, cruising across America. Jacksonville, Florida, through this deep south into Texas and the Southwest, and now here in California. And what I've experienced, the extreme temperatures and the record temperatures, not only highs, but the duration throughout the course of the past week, as you all have been talking about, has just been nothing short of amazing. But here's a just quick look at what the data and some of the stats of what, the Weather Beast and I went through. Take a look. My goodness, 8 days of traveling across the country, starting in Jacksonville, Florida, 3,117 total miles, 9 unbelievable states in total, nearly 48 hours sitting in the chair of the Fox Weather Beast, driving across the country. Looking back at all the people I met and the sights that I saw and the weather extremes that I went through, I wasn't expecting to see all these record temperatures and the incredible heat that America was going through. And then to end here, Santa Monica Pier on the beaches just outside of Los Angeles. Amazing as I walk right underneath this incredible pier and head out into the place that so many people are enjoying themselves. What an adventure. The people I met, the landscapes that I experienced, the weather patterns, just tremendous here. And you see right now, the Pacific Ocean. We made it. The Fox Weather Beast and I. An amazing solo trip across the United States. It had its challenges, absolutely, it did. But so many different pieces of perspective that I'm leaving with here as I made it to California. Until the next adventure, and maybe it's another cruising across America. Perhaps we go west to east next time, or just a Fox Weather Adventure series. Until next time, and I can't wait. And Amy, I actually think now that I've done this, and I know it's possible to do the solo road trip across the country, sea to shining sea, I actually think that going west to east is a good idea. And as a matter of fact, maybe we should do it in the autumn after hurricane season, and we get to see the magic of all the colors.
That'd be fantastic.
Right? With all the mountains.
I think that's a great idea.
And maybe you should come along.
I think it's a great idea. Well, you're doing such a good job on your own, Robert. But I will say this, which is vital to understand. When you cover weather, and you have been in so many natural disasters, understanding the regions and the topography is really important. I've lived in 8 states, coast to coast. And living in different places and seeing the places that you cover and forecast for makes all the difference in the world. So taking this trip and being able to see the different vulnerabilities and strengths of these communities in their natural form really does help you understand when the disaster hits.
That is a really good point, and it's something that, I've talked about with my daughters, about, geography, topography, landscape, and knowing where you're at, and especially in the business that we're in, where we're talking about how weather patterns affect actual states and regions and ecosystems. Yes, you have to know it. You have to know exactly the corners of each state. You have to know whether there's mountains or marshes, and it is absolutely key. And really, it's kind of like running, like the people that are doing here behind me on the Santa Monica trail here. If you go for a run in a city, if you're traveling, you're going to get to know the town that you're in. And so it's kind of like the same thing. If you take the Weather Beast or some vehicle into the region that you want to know a lot about, and you traverse it and you get out and you go through the hiking trails and you meet the people, then guess what? You're going to know a lot more about what you're talking about. I am very proud that we did this as a network and we did this Sea to Shining Sea trip. I've learned a lot about myself, I've got a lot of perspective in the end about all the people and the weather patterns. And I just look back east, and I hope that these temps drop a little bit because it has been scorching.
Yeah, getting to know America mile by mile. Fox Weather's Robert Ray live in Santa Monica, cruising across America.